First of the Sunday matches then, it was at the London Stadium. West Ham at home to Manchester United. West Ham's form looking far better than United's. Team news, well, not a lot to report other than the fact that Lindelof signed a new contract, so he was certainly in the starting lineup. Lingard was on the bench for United. Rashford up front as usual. Still no Pogba, still no Martial, still no Shaw. Mata was in from the start. For the Hammers, Yarmolenko, his second game back. Noble, of course, the captain. But anyway, we got going, and it was pretty slow to start. The possession by United's defenders was particularly show. It was first 10 minutes were quiet, very little fireworks. Then on 19 minutes, first meaningful shot from Yarmolenko, but De Gea managed it fairly comfortably. It was particularly cagey on both sides, and little attacking flair. It was waiting to ignite with both defences in charge. Noble had a volley which again was held easily by De Gea on 34, and then finally a couple of minutes before half time, some nice build-up play by Noble, and he managed to feed Anderson, and Anderson flicked the ball to Yarmolenko. He came in from the touchline, got a yard of space on his left foot, and he hit the corner, and the Hammers were 1-up. Really the only piece of quality in a lacklustre half. Second half then, Mata missed a cross from 2 yards, which he managed to put over. Should have been the equaliser on 48 minutes. And that followed a good break from Pereira. Rashford looked all out of sorts throughout the whole game, and he was also moaning at his teammates for not giving any decent service. And eventually on 60 minutes, without anyone near him, he pulled up, sat on the floor, looking completely dejected. We suspected a slight hamstring problem. Off he came, and Lingard was replaced him. Then we had a slightly improved attack from United, but then De Gea came to the rescue with his legs blocking an Anderson effort. That was minute 61. The best chance for United came on 68 minutes when Maguire was up from the back. And his second opportunity with his foot, he managed to get Fabianski busy, but really if he'd been calmer it would have been the equaliser. After that, really it was a case of West Ham looking more likely to score. Creswell's free kick on 76 went just over, and that was a preview to another free kick on 82, and Creswell this time stepped up and hit a glorious left foot shot over the wall, crept in the corner. Great effort from De Gea. He got a finger to it, but it wasn't good enough, and West Ham were 2-up. Gomez came on just prior to that for Mata, who was extremely disappointing. In fact, the whole United team was very disappointing, and West Ham a comfortable win, 2-0. Pellegrini absolutely delighted. Lots of problems for Solskjaer. You could see it in his eyes as the camera panned to him after the second one went in. There's really a lot of work to be done here, and I don't think he's the man to do it. I just feel that they've made a hasty decision sacking Mourinho, and they're going to pay for it. He is the best coach around, and they should have stuck with him. But anyway, final score at the London Stadium was West Ham 2 and Manchester United 0. To Selhurst Park then, Crystal Palace at home to weary Wolves. I say that because they'd done Europa League on Thursday and they lost. Anyway, Doherty returned for Wolves. Are you preferred up front still instead of Benteke? Early highlights. Wolves are certainly looking more possession. This is their 13th game of the season already, but they didn't look like they were tired. Early running, as I say, a couple of half chances. 29 minutes, a nice move. Doherty's header was pushed over by Gaeta. And as we approached the break, it hadn't been a classic by any stretch of the imagination, but Wolves had the better of it. Jota had a shot, but again the keeper handled it quite easily. So a rather poor first half, ending goalless into the second half, and within a minute Wolves had gone behind. A touch of good fortune for Palace. They attacked down the left, the ball came across, and it somehow Ward's shot managed to hit Dendoncker, a massive deflection, and it went past Fabricio, and it was classified as an own goal. The reality, Palace had won up. Saiss managed to pick up a second yellow not shortly after, and so Wolves were down to 10 and a goal down. 78 minutes and 79 minutes, two great chances for Palace to wrap up the points. Firstly, Benteke created the space beautifully, but then his shot hit the keeper when it would have been easier to put it either side. That just shows how his confidence is down at the basement. And then a second opportunity, this time for Slop, and he spurned a one-on-one chance with the keeper again. So as we approached the final seconds, Palace were hanging on to a match that they really should have put to bed. And as so often happens, in the 5th minute of added time, Wolves were throwing everything at the Palace defence. A nice cross from Traore caused a panic, and the defender Ward tried to head the ball behind from a flat lying down position, made an absolute pig's ear of it, and Jota was there to say thanks very much, and he woofed the ball into the net. And the equaliser had arrived. Hodgson on the sideline showed his disgust by smashing his hand against an empty chair. But the reality was Palace had once again dropped 2 points at home. Final score, Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1. Arsenal at home to Aston Villa. Arsenal conceding goals, 7 of them in the last 3 games. Villa, their problem is they just haven't been scoring any. But Trezeguet was back after his suspendence, and Saka was in for Ozil. He was back on the bench, and Trezeguet looked pretty sharp early on. He had a shot on 5 minutes, and he was a constant presence in the first half down the right flank. Good effort from McGinn on 9 minutes, tested Leno, and then Maitland-Niles got a yellow in on 11, and not long after that he got a second yellow, which meant he was off. He limped off, but he was definitely the guilty party. In between that, El Ghazi's curling cross, McGinn nipped in between 2 stationary defenders and clipped it wide of Leno to put the visitors at a goal up. So at the break, Arsenal goal down and with 10 men. Into the second half though, and Guendouzi was looking very purposeful. He ran into the box and he was brought down clumsily, and Pepe took the penalty, and he levelled the match on 59 minutes. Straight from the kickoff, McGinn had a great chance to put Villa back in front, but he hooked it wide. However, a couple of minutes later, Wesley managed to connect a great cross from Grealish and hit the target, and Villa were back in front, 2-1. Then Arsenal piled on the pressure. Great save by Heaton from Guendouzi, and then 81 minutes, Chambers on as a sub capitalised from a bit of a poor clearance, and his second effort, a deft flick that went in the top corner across Heaton. So we were level again. At that stage, Arsenal were certainly gunning for the winner. Sorry about the pun there. And eventually, Villa cracked. They brought down an Arsenal attacker near the penalty box. Aubameyang stepped up, and his beautiful shot curved round the wall into the corner, and the Gunners were ahead for the first time in the match on minute 84. It was a poor wall, to be frank, but this man has the Midas touch when it comes to scoring goals. After that, there was a shout for handball by the Villa faithful against Socrates, and it looked a pretty good case, but it was waved away. The Gunners hang on. They got their win by 3-2. Great game, but hardly a classic performance by Arsenal. They got the victory, but it was much the same tale as the previous week. But anyway, final score at the Emirates: Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 2. Final match of week 6 then was at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea at home to Liverpool. Both teams, of course, lost in the week in the Champions League. Liverpool trying to keep up a 100% record. They were at full strength. Kante was back for Chelsea, as was William, and Tomori retained in the centre of defence. Early signs were it was going to be a great game, very fast paced. 11 minutes, Kovacic, great run down the left, but his cross was cleared. And then a minute later, Liverpool got a free kick on the left edge of the box. Salah and Alexander-Arnold over the ball. Salah just nudged the ball to Arnold, and he hit a lovely shot curving in into the corner. Kepa had no chance, and this young boy is a real talent, I can tell you. And Liverpool won up. Alonso had to come on for Emerson. He had a hamstring problem. That was on 14. And then on 23 minutes, Abraham managed to escape the offside trap, but Adrian stayed big and the chance was lost. 26 minutes, Chelsea thought that they were level. Mount put William through. He ran to the byline. His cross caused havoc in the defence. It eventually fell to Azpilicueta, who pushed the ball home. However, on closer examination by VAR, Mount was a boot offside, so it was chalked off. Unlucky Chelsea, and they paid for it 3 minutes later. Again out on the left. This time Robertson's cross came in, and Firmino, head and shoulders above everybody, headed home strongly. Poor marking, has to be said, but 2-0 to Liverpool. 38 minutes, Salah, a break. His shot was deflected over by a great save, and that sort of kept Chelsea in it. A half chance on 44 for Chelsea, but Abraham's header just went over. So 2-0 at the break. A minute into the second half, and again Firmino in the action. His volley was scooped away by Kepa, and that certainly was a game saver, as 3-0 would have been beyond the Blues. 58 minutes, another nice move from Chelsea this time, and Aspilicueta's cross caused a little bit of problems, but it went away for a corner. And from that corner, Kante's effort went wide. Then 70 minutes, Kante, looking more and more purposeful, picked up the ball. He was outside the box. He went on a weaving run, and then he launched a right foot shot, which hit the corner, the top corner. Great effort. And Chelsea were back in it. It was 2-1. The Liverpool defence backed off, and the longer the second half had been going, the more Liverpool seemed to be taking their foot off the pedal, and Chelsea were still up for it. So they were back to 2-1. After that, Chelsea re-energised, and they kept the pressure on right to the final whistle. But Alonso had a chance, but he was then ruled offside, and Batshuayi came on for Abraham. He had a golden chance, but it went just wide, and so we basically saw Chelsea really going for it. Mount had a chance as well, half chances these, but in the end the Liverpool machine moves on. They held on. They won this game by 2-1, and my man of the match, Alexander-Arnold. He is certainly one of the best fullbacks I've seen in a long time, and he should be an absolute shoo-in for the right back spot for England going forward. So anyway, that's week 6 done and dusted. It's as before, really. Liverpool 6 wins, 18 points. City 4 wins, a draw and a loss, 13 points. Bournemouth have got into the top 5 now. Arsenal are up there, and Leicester. Man U slipped a bit at the bottom. Watford dead bottom, and we will see you next week. Hope you enjoyed it.